Okay, now Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz just finished. I just finished watching that fight, and honestly, I I have very little to say about this fight. This fight was honestly just it was entertainment. That's the best way I could put it. It was entertainment. It was a very entertaining fight. One of the most entertaining fights of this year, I might say. And when it comes to Jake Paul and Nate Diaz, let's talk about some strengths that they had and some weaknesses. I'm not going to take too long on this, honestly, because I just wasn't just trying to enjoy the fight. I wasn't even trying to break it down too much and trying to look into the intricacies of it. But for the most part, I would say Jake Paul had a good jab, honestly, Jake Paul's stamina was the thing that impressed me the most this fight. Jake Paul's stamina was pretty good. He looked good all through the 10 rounds, as well as having some good jabs to the body, to the head, etc. I would say also his defense was pretty good. His defense has definitely improved since his last fight and the fight before that, and he kept it very, very regular for this fight, and it honestly worked for him. I like Jake when he's more reserved. He's more reserved and picking out his shots. He also dropped Nate Diaz, I believe in the 6th round. I could be wrong, 4th, 5th, or 6th round. He dropped Nate Diaz, and I believe it was a left hook, a clean left hook. Dropped Nate Diaz. But yeah, Jake Paul definitely impressed me this fight with his composure and his defense and his stamina. He had very good stamina. As for Nate Diaz is a guy who fights like he's drunk at a bar. He fights like he's drunk at a bar. He's barely having defense, putting his hands down a plethora of times, laying down on the ropes, talking to fans a plethora of times. Pump faking to Jake, kind of making fun of Jake when Jake would jab him to the body. He'd act like it hurts and then just like laugh right after. Nate Diaz, honestly, a great entertainer. Great. He honestly made this fight very, very entertaining to watch. Very entertaining to watch because he was just having fun in there. You could tell he was just in there to have fun. And honestly, he put up a great fight. His defense wasn't anything too crazy. He'll just use a natural guard and just move forward. Which caused him to get knocked down within one of the rounds. I believe it was the 4th or 5th round, but it caused him to get knocked down. The knockdown was pretty bad too, but he got back up and continued fighting like nothing happened. And also the way he fights is very weird because he fights in spurts. One time he'll just like completely keep his arms down, not even really throw full punches, walk around the ring, laugh, whatever he was doing. He was being a complete entertainer, but then at the same time throw a whole bunch of punches, throw 3-punch combinations to Jake, and was landing. He was landing a lot of his punches. Yeah, Jake's defense was good, but Nate Diaz was landing a lot of his punches. Honestly, going into the last round, I believe they were tied. Even with Jake with the knockdown, because Nate Diaz was still, his output was still so great. But I would say Jake was the more consistent fighter overall, and that's what made him get the victory in the end. But yeah, this is definitely a very entertaining fight. I highly recommend you guys watch these entertainer type fights because these be the most entertaining fights of the year. I would say this is one of the most entertaining fights of the year. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. Let me know. I'll be coming back to every single comment. And yeah, Jake Paul, Nate Diaz. Who'd you guys have? I'm out. Bow.